Hello, lovely people, and welcome to the Lovely Digest podcast. I'm your host and friend Emily, founder and creative director at Bet Creative, sharing weekly wellness wisdom with you every Wednesday. My goal is to help you design your dream life and make the transition from being in information overload to being your own personal success story. Make sure to subscribe to get notifications every time a new episode comes out so you don't miss the latest simple and actionable tips for improving your well-being. Okay, so I love this topic. I know it's a bit random, but if you know me, you've definitely heard of my whack dreams and how I dream every single night and how every single one of my dreams takes place post-apocalypse. Yeah, since I was little, I haven't had a dream that doesn't take place after the world ends, which let's see if I can talk about this without going down a rabbit hole and getting off topic. But I recently had a revelation that I believe that's because I'm here to help the world move into a new era of health and wellness first and expansion of the mind. I truly believe we all have a sixth intuitive sense and are standing on the precipice of a world where it's common to talk about gut feelings, synchronicities, and have what's considered woo-woo become more common. Wow, a little proud of myself for not completely going on a tangent, but today I really want to tell you about how to lucid dream and how I lucid dream. I've always been able to lucid dream, and after watching one of my favorite movies, Inception, I became obsessed with lucid dreaming and how to world build in my sleep. And if you're not familiar with the phrase lucid dreaming, that just means basically waking up and being conscious while you're asleep. Which is not common, but it's normal, I should say. So this has developed into my borderline obsession with healing the subconscious through sleep. While I view dream reading with a bit of a critical eye, I do think each of our dreams contains a message only we can truly decipher, and that when we dream about or how a dream makes us feel is a guiding star to healing subconscious beliefs. Yes, even the really weird and seemingly random and pointless dreams have a message buried in there. And if you're lucid dreaming, you have the power to ask questions, call people to you, and talk directly to your subconscious. I'd like to take a pause in the episode to talk about my business, Bet Creative. I launched Beck back in 2020 when I was just starting my health coaching business after doing contract work and working for several designers during my college career in industrial design. After securing a few clients via the health coaching platform, I quickly realized how much I love serving wellness businesses. A few prompts from clients later, I rebranded and officially became a marketing agency. I am so proud to have made a dream that felt really far off come true so early in my career. If you're in the wellness field, you are doing amazing work, and I would love to help you grow. Whether it's social media management, digital materials, or a whole marketing audit, I would love to see how I can be a part of your team. Head to betcreative.co, that is .co/contact, to send me an email and connect with me on Instagram at betcreative.co. And if you want to see my portfolio and other work I've done, you can head to betcreative.co/portfolio. Getting to the point of lucid dreaming takes a lot of practice depending on where you're at with your dreams currently. If you wake up and don't remember dreaming, it's not that you didn't dream at all, but that you just need to take some time and lay in bed and follow your emotions. Emotions when you first wake up are threads to your dreams. If you can't remember your dream, lay there and you're half asleep and in your half asleep state, I should say, and just really feel into that emotion, whatever you may be feeling when you first wake up, and see what comes up. Often a piece or two will come to you from the dream The key is to not overthink and push it, and to just practice this until you start remembering more and more by being kind of gentle and like poking and prodding, but not pushing, because then it tends to like evade your grasp. I can't explain it. You probably know what I'm talking about. Like if you try too hard to remember something, it like you just can't. So if you kind of like release it out and surrender to it, then sometimes it'll come back and sometimes it won't, and that's totally fine. When you can remember scenes from your dreams, keep a pen and paper handy, and as soon as you wake up, write down the thread of the emotion and then the scenes you do remember. And when you can write down a full dream and it feels complete, write a phrase or draw something on your hand. You might have to do this quite a few times. The trick is to have your brain remember that you have writing on your hand while you're sleeping. It doesn't really matter what it is. If it's something, how do I say this, like familiar to you, then you might remember it better. I feel like only you can really decipher what that might be. But eventually you'll remember to look at your hand and the message is usually gone, or it's something else completely different. And that's how I get myself to wake up in the dream. Especially when I was younger, I used to do this all the time. It's kind of like serves as a little trigger for you to wake up. So another thing you can do is like wear something funny or put something on your body that it just isn't usually there. However, obviously you're trying to sleep, like it's kind of hard to do that. So I find that writing on your hand is kind of the simplest way to do that. And when you first start waking up in your dreams, it can feel really, really hard to stay grounded and actually asleep. What helps is to imagine all your weight in your feet. When you first start lucid dreaming, this is really hard. Just the key is to not get frustrated and keep doing it over and over again. It's kind of hard, like you only sleep like or dream like a certain period of time throughout the night. So you do also have to actually be sleeping enough for you to be dreaming, like to give your body time to enter REM sleep. So if you weren't doing that, then this probably isn't going to work for you. People's need for sleep varies, especially like as a teenager, it's a lot more. Like when as a kid, you might not need as much, and then you enter teenagehood and you need a lot, and then that kind of decreases as you get older. Right now I'm 26, but like I also have chronic illness, so I find that like I actually need like a solid 9 to 10 hours of sleep in order to really have a lot of dream time. But once you do start waking up in your dreams after you see the note on your hand or notice that it's gone or whatever it is, and you actually kind of feel more conscious while you're dreaming, imagining all your weight in your feet can really help you to stay grounded. And remember, just like simply remembering that you can literally do anything you want in your dreams is usually like a grounding statement. And sometimes like saying I am asleep actually wakes you up, because that's, I mean, if you think about it, if you had nightmares as a kid, like I personally would say like I'm sleeping, and that would wake myself up out of the dream. So avoid those statements, avoid kind of revealing to your subconscious that you know that you're sleeping, and just instead imagine that the world that you're in is real, which it isn't, but yeah, you can do anything in this dream state. So you could become an animal, you could be weightless, change your hair color, shapeshift, literally do anything. And those can also be like really grounding things that help you to stay asleep, because it's just reinforcing that you're actually asleep. So just imagine yourself like grounding into the dream. And then once you've mastered being able to stay grounded and in the dream and observe the world around you, practice calling someone to you or going somewhere. Sometimes walking around wakes you up, but first, try calling someone to you. So you could call a past loved one, someone you want to talk to, but no, maybe you shouldn't in real life, like an ex or someone you're fighting with. And when you start making demands in a dream, that can challenge your ability to stay grounded and asleep but with practice, like it will get easier. Just while you're waiting for them to show up, which usually it takes like a matter of 2 seconds because it's a dream world, you just stand there, don't move, and ground your feet into the ground and just wait, and they will always come to you, which is super cool. And this is like a really awesome practice for healing subconscious thoughts. And moving beyond maybe relationships that are bad and like having those conversations that you can't stop mulling over. I find that if I have them while sleeping, it kind of heals that, because you're already in the subconscious state while sleeping. It heals those subconscious thoughts, and then you think about them less during the day, and it helps you to move on faster. So practice is key, as you might guess, with lucid dreaming. The more you practice, the easier it will get, and the more it will happen. Eventually, you can try world building. I have a dreamscape, for example, that I return to time and time again. I literally built it from scratch and still continue to like add to it. It's my dream home that I picture myself living in when I die one day, and like, I believe I'm going to go to heaven, so this is the place that I imagine myself being in. It's a beautiful and calming space, so if I ever want to go there, I picture moving around in it as I fall asleep, and I'll usually tell myself a story. Like, there's certain people that I imagine being there. I never bring anyone that doesn't bring me pure joy there. Like, I've only ever really allowed like 2 people there, and it's just your safe space, like the ultimate space. It's not where you want to meet up with an ex in your dreams. Save that for somewhere else. But yeah, this is the place where it's just truly my sanctuary. Sometimes, especially if you read or watch TV right before bed, your brain will be dead set on processing that instead of doing what you wanted to do. I find that going to bed with like a blank slate in my brain helps a lot, which can be hard, especially as like, I don't know, social media is just, it's there, just be aware. Like, if you really want to lucid dream, it can be amazing, because it really, like, you can't look at stuff before you go to bed. Like, you have to meditate and clear your mind, otherwise it won't really happen. So yeah, lucid dreaming is super helpful for both the subconscious and the conscious mind. It doesn't take a lot to shift a dream though. So like, if you do find yourself in a dream, you're like, oh, like I want to lucid dream, or you want it to change and you have that consciousness while being asleep, you can change it. It's usually by just like gently asking for a person or asking to go to a place. Often the more you force something, the more often you'll wake up. So just keep that in mind. But your assignment today might be a bit obvious. Try lucid dreaming. It's so much fun and so cool and so rewarding. So with that, I hope you'll have an awesome week. Let me know if this works for you. Let me know if you try it. It takes a long time. So just have patience and keep trying it. It's so awesome once you get to do it. Well, that is it for now, lovelies. Thank you so much for tuning in. For more tips and to join our online community off the podcast, follow Lovely Digest on Instagram and Emily Beck on YouTube. The links will be below. To join our email community and get notified of new discounts, tips, and resources, follow the link in the show notes. If you thought this was helpful or know if it might help a friend, please make sure to share it, and if you feel inclined, leave a review. It really helps get these tips in front of the people who may really benefit from this community we have here. See you next week.